You say that the universities now run more as a business rather than an educational unit, and that its policies have been more to profit its own sort of grandeur, you know, its own representation rather than the bottom line students who it is here to help, as it were.
I think there's certainly a lot to be said about the university running as a business and presenting itself as a corporate identity. You've got the University of Leeds written in big letters outside there on the ZIF building, which is very much kind of a corporate logo. We haven't seen that around this university before in that very grand and big and self-proclaiming way. So certainly we do get a lot of that, and we do get a lot of money spent on the corporate side of the university. I wouldn't go as far as to say that the university isn't committed to education. Certainly all of us that work in it are, but the university management are making decisions that will make that difficult to deliver, make that education difficult to deliver, and we don't see the sense of that. So, for example, they're talking of spending, was it something like 360 million on new buildings, at the same time as saying that they need to cut 35 million. Now, that's another argument, I understand.
Well, I was going to say, from what I understand though, all these different pockets of money, as it were, are ring-fenced for different things, so you couldn't keep more people in employment with money from not building a new department, as it were.
That's not altogether true. When they get this money, which they can only spend on building, they have to match it pound for pound. And that money they match it with could be spent on employing people. Now, it's still good, we recognise, to invest and build new buildings, certainly is. But on top of matching money, they're also borrowing money from banks. Now, I think the last figure that they'd come to was 35 million. They'd reduced, from borrowing 50 million, they'd reduced it to borrowing 35 million, which is an interesting figure given that's the figure that they want to save. Now, borrowing money from a bank for buildings, fine. But if you borrow money, you've got to pay it back with interest. And the money that you pay back and the interest that you pay could be used for could be used for employing people. So it's not altogether true to say that this money is ring-fenced. Only a certain amount of it is. And we've worked out that the interest on 35 million, by the way, could pay 100 people for 20 years.
Right.
That's the interest. That's not the money itself. Sorry, I exaggerate. The money. Sorry, let me say that again.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
The interest on paying a loan of 35 million over, say, 15 years, is the equivalent to the salaries for 50 people over 20 years.
So just the interest alone each year could save 50 jobs, as it were?
Absolutely, and that's before you're paying back the 35 million. And incidentally, the university have said that they'll pay that out of future student fees.